Goal of the season. Goal of the season, Sarr. Oh my days, Raya. What are you doing? What is Raya doing? Sarr, what a goal. And you're telling me Arsenal are out here talking about a foul here when this shouldn't have been a goal. What is your defence doing and what is Raya doing? Let's talk about that instead. And don't forget, Arsenal, this is Victor Gyokeres' debut. This is Victor Gyokeres' Arsenal debut. And you're out here telling me Sarr is scoring a goal like that just before halftime. It is halftime right now. Tottenham are winning 1-0 against Arsenal. And Sarr has just got a volley in the halfway line. Halfway line, Sarr has just got a volley against Arsenal's first team. Scored the first goal and it was a volley. You cannot make this up from the halfway line. I'm going to repeat that again.
So we've just lost to Tottenham in pre-season 1-0. And I keep seeing people say pre-season don't matter. I'm confused. What makes you think that pre-season form does not carry on into the league or any significant competition you are going to play that matters? Is the form magically going to switch up? Are they going to somehow learn the system within the first game of the season? No! This is your time to test things out. And you start in no guard, Declan Rice and Odegaard. He's just high. This system makes no sense. Nobody understands it. And I'm sure Arteta himself does not even understand what he is doing. This system is great defensively. But going forward, my word, is it terrible. And he still has not changed it. And by change, I don't mean little tweaks. What are you even supposed to do when you have the ball and attack? I don't understand the objective. We hit it all the way up to that wall and that's pretty much it. Whatever happens from there, it's not his issue. It took this man, Saka, going down injured to then make substitutes. Why is Saka completing 75 minutes in pre-season? Somebody tell me. Absolute shock horror, guys. There's no creativity. There is zero central progression in this team. Martinelli even sees the ball 5 times, man. Reece Nelson, he's leaving and he's our best left winger. He's better than Martinelli and he's better than Trossard. Do you know how mad I would be if I was Gyokeres coming to a team like Arsenal after begging my arse off and getting no service at all? Am I drunk?
Absolutely amazing. What a goal by Pape Sarr, the Tottenham player. He has lobbed the goalkeeper of Arsenal. Arsenal are finished. This was an important game for Arsenal to prove themselves and Tottenham get the win. Honestly, Tottenham will win the Premier League. Remember my words and my prediction. They've got a top manager. They've got top players. Honestly, Tottenham is the best team right now. Liverpool won the Premier League last year, but this year is Tottenham's time. They have arrived in top condition. What a goal by a fantastic player. Arsenal are finished. They have to sack Arteta. I've been saying it for years and years. 6 years, 1 trophy. That's it. Sarr, phenomenal. Arsenal finished. Absolutely shocking.
So you're telling me that Victor Gyokeres today on his Arsenal debut, 0 goals, 0 assists, 0 shots, 0 dribbles, 0 draws 1 and 2 touches. But I'm supposed to believe that this is the guy that will take Arsenal to the league title. What a goal this was, by the way, by Sarr. David Raya had an absolute nightmare. But I'm supposed to believe again by Arsenal fans' logic that David Raya is the best goalkeeper in the Prem. The Victor Gyokeres 007 count has begun. You know the debut was bad when the best moment of your debut was actually you being subbed on. But don't worry, it's fine, Arsenal fans. You've got AFTV doing that Victor Gyokeres announcement video, and now you're going to win the league. Remember now, no excuses. You've got all the players that you need. You've got all the positions that you need. You've got yourself that elite striker who scored 54 goals in the Portuguese league. So, there's no excuses now. You have to win the league. If you don't, then Arteta, his time at Arsenal, yes, he was finishing second, but Ollie did that for United, and yet he was fired. So, would Arteta's time at Arsenal be a failure if he doesn't win the league?
007 Victor Gyokeres is on as Arsenal have just been destroyed, humbled and embarrassed by Tottenham 1-0 with a halfway line volley. That's right, Victor Gyokeres made his Arsenal debut today, and I just want to say I'm happy that we got Rasmus Højlund ahead of him because Victor Gyokeres is worse than Rasmus Højlund. I can't believe I'm even saying that as Tottenham win 1-0 against Arsenal. And yes, Arsenal, they've not lost to Tottenham in the last 6 games. It's been 5 wins, 1 draw for Arsenal against Tottenham in the last 6 games. And you're telling me Tottenham have come in here with Arsenal being the better team and still finding a way to lose to Tottenham from the halfway line. You can't make an excuse about that.
I can't quite believe what I'm seeing in that first half. Tottenham are becoming Arsenal from set pieces against Arsenal. Sticking a man on David Raya every single corner whipping the ball underneath the crossbar, and it is causing chaos. This corner hit the post. Pedro Porro in swinger. Van de Ven gets across Raya. There might have been a little bit of a foul in there, but you're telling me Ben White's never fouled anyone. In swinger, then it hits the post. 20 minutes later, exactly the same thing happens from the other side. Kudus whipping it in. Look at Raya. He's in no man's land. His hands are going everywhere. He can't get near it. Richarlison at the back post somehow misses from there. Look at Raya. Look at Arsenal. They're all over the place. We're Arsenaling Arsenal. And although we like to sit back and take the mick out of Arsenal a bit being set piece FC, Spurs have missed this for so long because, one, we got bullied by so many people on set pieces who would do exactly this. Then we never think to do it back to them at the other end. Like, every corner we had, it was almost like we didn't recognise it as an opportunity to score or create a bit of chaos. I've spoken about it before with Thomas Frank, these marginal gains, set pieces, throw-ins, creeping back into Spurs' game a little bit, prioritising focus on those little 1%ers, just make us that little bit more dangerous. That is what Spurs have been asking for. And like I said, I know we take the mick out of Arsenal a little bit for being set piece FC, but you have to praise them. It's always through, it's always just taking the mick a little bit. You have to give them the credit for doing that, for realising that one of the ways that they get close to City, Liverpool, etc. is by maximising those marginal gains. I really feel like that is something that Thomas Frank is going to massively focus on. And Spurs have done it. We've hit the post 3 times in this game. One from Wilson Alderweireld in open play, but twice in that first half from corners, causing absolute carnage in that Arsenal penalty area.
We lost to Tottenham 1-0. Never getting that 90 minutes back, by the way. That was an absolute shit show from start to finish from Arsenal. And it was so boring. Like, we didn't do anything. We had about 1 shot on target, I'm pretty sure, the whole game. We just weren't creating enough. And, we were so poor. We were so poor on the left. And we looked tired. We looked like we just didn't care. Look, I get it's friendly, but it is Tottenham. Like, this is Tottenham that we're talking about. We got to beat Tottenham. We can't lose to Tottenham. And unfortunately, today we did. You know when it's a bad day when this person was the biggest threat off the left. Like, Martinelli and Trossard are not good enough. Like, they get good bench players to come on. But we need Esse. We need Rodrigo. We need Rafael Leao. Like, some of these players. We need another attacker that can create more.
Kudus Gyokeres has been fouled by Richarlison, which led to the goal by Sarr. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Was this a foul? Let's be honest. 100% in the Premier League, this is getting ruled out. But it's pre-season. I can't lie. That Ryan getting chipped from the halfway line is not something I expected to see this Thursday afternoon. But it's happening right now. Join a watch along called Peak Fire on Twitch or the TikTok. I'm live right now. But yeah, it's 1-0 right now to Tottenham. Sarr goal from the halfway line. Lewis Kelly did get fouled. Hey, let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Oh, hey, champions the Hong Kong Festival of Football. You'll never sing that. I mean, look, guys, a game for a trophy against Arsenal, we were always going to win it. It's a familiar feeling for us, all right? Like I said, as soon as we knew that this game was for a trophy, there was only ever going to be one outcome. Tottenham versus Arsenal, game for a trophy. What was going to happen? Arsenal win it? Pfft, I don't think so. And obviously, Thomas Frank picking up his award for just being the greatest manager maybe of all time. Sonny picking up his award for being one of the greatest players of all time. It's just standard stuff for us, you know what I mean? What was it, like 2 months ago now we won our last trophy? That's a long time for us. No, seriously, it's just funny. It just is quite funny that there was a trophy lift after every single game of pre-season. It's nice for the fans out there. It's obviously nice for all the Tottenham fans. Not so nice for the Arsenal fans, but is it ever? And it's always nice to win a pre-season North London derby. I mean, we did it a couple of years ago. We beat Arsenal at our stadium in a pre-season North London derby. We're beating them again this summer. Hopefully that tells you what's going to happen this season. Hopefully. Their new signing, Gyokeres, whatever his name is, didn't do anything in 15 minutes on the pitch. That youngster they've all been hyping up, can't even remember his name, again, did nothing. We're just, when you're big, all right? So, we are big.
5 things we learned from Arsenal 0, Spurs 1. It can't go on like this, can it? It can. Our left-hand side. I don't actually like doing this at this point because, I feel bad for keeping on repeating the same point, but our left-hand side, it was a problem last year. Shock horror, it's a problem this year. Martinelli, Trossard, both of them played. I mean, Trossard went off injured, which is just a concern in itself. But they're just not doing enough. And again, Reece Nelson, minimal amount of minutes, looked by far the biggest threat off that left-hand side when he came on. Because he can simply stand up a fullback and drive at them and go one way or the other and cause problems. We don't even have that at the moment. And again, Madueke at this stage is going to be starting off the left-hand side, and I've not even seen him kick a ball. Victor Gyokeres, we didn't learn much about, right? He came on for about 15 minutes, didn't get a huge amount of service, but one time he did inside the box, he brought the ball down well and laid it off to Zubimendi, and it was almost like Zubimendi wasn't expecting it. I do think, as much as he is a gunman, he is also a creator, and we will see that from him. The goal that they scored, I'm actually not critical of Arsenal here. Raya is where he's meant to be in the build-up for that goal. Miles Lewis-Skelly does what he's meant to do in terms of turning, driving through the midfield. That can provide so many opportunities for us. He was just blatantly fouled. Like, there's no other way of looking at it. Richarlison from behind clipped his heels, took him out, and the referee just didn't care. So I think in a real game, VAR intervenes, and the goal doesn't stand. But I'm not going to sit here and, like, hammer our team for conceding that goal. As bad as it looks in terms of a keeper getting lobbed from there, like, we did the right things.
Mikel Arteta has just tried to scrap Pedro Porro in a friendly. Yes, you heard me, a friendly in Hong Kong. And you're probably thinking, how did this all play out? Well, it started off in quite a normal situation. A fullback, Pedro Porro, the ball's gone out of play, he's about to take a throw and is looking at his options. But Mikel Arteta, he was not happy with Pedro's position on where he was taking the throw. And he marches out of his technical area and immediately confronts the fullback before he's about to take the throw and is trying to get the referee's attention. And Pedro Porro, let's just say, wasn't having any of it. He puts his hands on Arteta and gives him a shove, and this causes the referee to intervene and get Arteta away. But he wasn't having it at all, because Arteta, he tries to confront Porro, and just finally now, yes, it's VAR, but finally, he's back in his own technical area where he should have been the whole time. I get you're losing Mikel 1-0 to a Pape Sarr wonder goal, but it's really not that deep. It's a friendly in Hong Kong. Worry about the Premier League when you do all this, because
He just can't help himself, can he?
Player who made the most dribbles in the Premier League last season of any
Get
player.
back in your box, mate. You're not playing. You're not on the pitch. You are the manager. Your box is clearly drawn out here. Get back in your box. What are you doing out there, mate? What are you doing? Kind of reminds me a little bit of that Højbjerg situation a few years ago in the North London derby when Arteta thought he'd give a bit to Højbjerg. Højbjerg then came over to confront him and he quickly scampered back into his box. What I loved about that is it just reminded me of how much I just dislike him. And yeah, I'm so excited for next season when the pressure is going to be piled onto him. Look, could they do something pretty special next season? Could they do something great at Arsenal? Yeah, absolutely. And if he does, I'll hold my hands up. But right now, I'm hoping and praying that man is put under so much pressure that he just spontaneously combusts. But you know what? It is perfect as well. Arsenal having the most dislikable manager in the league is just perfect. It's just absolutely perfect. It's the way it should be. It gives, fuel to the fire, all of that. And yeah, I've just stretched Arteta being outside of his box to a minute, which is just, you kind of just got to respect that, really, don't you?
Victor Gyokeres! What a goal for Arsenal on his debut against Tottenham. Victor Gyokeres has only gone and done it. He's only known for the mask he puts on, for the goals he stat padded at Sporting. Victor Gyokeres, he definitely wants to go back to the Portuguese league because he knows Arsenal, they're not good enough. Arsenal, stay humble, eh? I feel sorry for Victor Gyokeres. I do. I'm not going to lie. Victor Gyokeres wanted Manchester United, but he was forced to go to Arsenal. And now look, 007 has started. 001. And if you don't believe me, here's the proof. He came on in the 77th minute. 6.2 rating. Is this your striker? Hey, we got Rasmus Højlund scoring last night. A beautiful goal. And then there's Victor Gyokeres who can't even score for Arsenal on his debut. What's the excuse? What is the excuse?
Oh, Pape Sarr, you have rocked my world. What a goal. From near enough the halfway line, lobbing David Raya after Miles Lewis-Skelly slipped over. Foul? No foul there. Come on. Pape Sarr lobs the keeper. Unbelievable. And it's funny, I've only really seen Arsenal players down on the floor so far this game. I mean, they just can't handle the intensity, clearly. But no, we've been very, very good this half. We are obviously 1-0 up. Not that that's that important. But the thing that is really scaring me is the intensity of this game for our first proper game of pre-season. Arsenal have already played Newcastle and AC Milan, I think it was, out here in Hong Kong, and the intensity level of this game is nowhere near a pre-season friendly. This is like Premier League level intensity. It's ridiculous. I mean, players are charging into each other, the press is really, really intense. It's being played like a proper game. And again, that worries me in terms of major injuries. I'd like to see some changes made early on into that second half to protect certain players, like Mickey van der Ven. Get Mickey van der Ven off that pitch. But I mean, to be fair, him and Romero are finding this game fairly easy. Jed Spence as well, dealing with Saka very easily too. So more the same in the second half, please, lads.
Do-rag diaries, Tottenham 1, Arsenal 0, and we start the pre-season off with a bang. First win of the season of the pre-season tour. We deal with our North London compatriots, and the only question I have is, what phase is Frank in? Before they say it, I'm gonna say it. It's just a friendly. Yeah, it is just a friendly, but our first game against the top side with our new manager, and we absolutely showed them Wagwan. We showed them Wagwan. I think we were the better performers. We had the better chances. Pape Sarr with an absolute peach of a goal from the halfway line. But more than anything, the whole team just looked so much better under Frank. So many standout performers in Romero, Kudus, Van der Ven, Bergval. So many of them. Max Dowman. Welcome to Jed Spence Penitentiary, kid. It ain't easy. It ain't easy. Saka couldn't do it. You couldn't too. But look, more than anything, Arsenal, you have some things to worry about. Losing to a Spurs team with its first game with a new manager. It's scary times.
Arsenal end their Asia tour with a 1-0 loss to our arch enemies, our North London rivals Hotspur. Both teams didn't look very good at all. Arsenal looks very samey as last year, just passing the ball around with no aim in particular, just passing it backwards, sideways, then dinking it into the box, just crossing it blindly. Tottenham's goal was very close to the half-time whistle. Lewis Skelly losing the ball in the midfield. Looks like Richarlison may have clipped his heels, but yeah, then Sarr lobbed Raya from nearly the halfway line. For a lot of people, it is just pre-season. For myself, pre-season does show where the team's at in terms of physically and as well technically. You know, we are seeing similar performances to the end of last season. Gyokeres came on towards the end of the game, didn't really get a touch. Max Dowman came on to replace Saka. Dowman did more in 10 minutes than Saka did in the whole game, and Martinelli was very poor. Trossard came on, got injured, so don't know whether that's going to affect his move away. Still needs signings, and Arteta needs to fix up the team because, like I say, it looks very, very similar to how we ended last season.
My thoughts on Arsenal versus Tottenham today. Very happy to see Gyokeres play today. I think he had a pretty good 15 minutes. It wasn't obviously spectacular. 15 minutes is hard to do something. But he did set up Zubamendi for a pretty good shot opportunity. And he was unfortunate to miss it. But I think Gyokeres could also provide many, many assists for Arsenal, not just scoring goals. He's a dual threat in that regard, and I'm very excited to see how he progresses with the team. Max Dowman is just a baller. When I saw him, today he looked a little bit better than Saka. I thought everything he did, all the decisions he made were spot on. It just looked correct, and he provided a lot of threat. Now, this is where the Spurs scored their first goal. I thought David Raya did a pretty decent job feeding Lewis Skelly, and Lewis Skelly got fouled from behind. I think in the Premier League, this goal is disallowed from VAR. I'm not too worried about it. Unfortunate that it happened, but honestly, pretty good take from halfway out, but won't fly in the Premier League. And Martinelli, I don't know what it is about him, but he hasn't been able to produce recently. Today he didn't look too great. He wasn't able to take on his defenders. It's just kind of disappointing because he's a player that I've really, really rated and I'm really supportive of, but he just was not it today. And lastly, I was kind of disappointed not to see Noneri play today. I don't know what it was. I'm not too aware of his situation right now, but I was kind of expecting to see him play. It is preseason, but I guess we'll hope to see him play soon.